So who's here? Come say hi. So Renee's here. Mr. Fox, you are second. Good evening. I hope everyone's doing great. How was everyone's week? For my part, many emotional things are starting. I thought, well, first of all, I want to know, is my lighting real bad? Because I could add one more light. Can you guys see me properly? So school-wise for my kids, I was really praying really, really hard that my kids would be able to stay in school. If you're not from Canada, Quebec, if you don't know, teachers are on strike. So I am semi-blessed in this chaotic moment. The association of the teachers that my children are in, it's a certain amount of days that they go on strike. So thankfully, the first time they went on strike for 3 days, then there was a pet day. So we went through that. It was not so bad. Then they went back to school, and then it took them almost the full week after that to get used to school. And then I was praying all week long. Hello, Jody. All week long, so that they can come up with some sort of plan, understanding, and cancel the strike. Well, sadly, Friday was day one, so the kids are now at home for Friday of last week, Monday, at least tomorrow, because there was an offer today, from what I understand, and he was refused. So tomorrow we are still on strike, and then it's a day per day finding out what's next for my kids. Hello, Mr. Tracy. I haven't chatted with you in such a long time. And I saw that you hurt yourself again with a knife. So, since my kids are in that association, they're going to go back to school, regardless if there is a understanding or not. They are planned to go back to school on the Friday the 15th throughout the week just before Christmas, and they're supposed to finish so what are we today? No, we're not. We're December 10th. Phone's acting up a little crazy. Okay, so we're December 10th. So they're going to go to school from the 15th, and then Monday the 18th, and then the 22nd they'll be off for, I can't remember how many days. So that's how my entire week, like I was always like waiting, looking, and praying for some light in this situation. Anyways, so that was my emotional roller coaster this week. I did share, if you missed it, one of our new tradition. I did talk about it on a couple of live, but my video vlog of this week, I actually show one of the tradition that I am changing, and I enjoy it. The kids, if I do it with one of them, two of them at the same time, goes pretty well. If I do it, the three of them at the same time, cause a little bit of chaos. So I need to work on that. But that was this week's video. How about you guys? I'm curious. I had to cut this live short last week. I lost my voice. Good. Usually I have like this ring that I take out, and I sit on my sofa in the living room. But now you're live from my office where I study most of the days. So I don't know where I put the ring because I'm right in front of a window. So I have like this pocket little light that I use when I read my books in the dark. Gives you a little bit more brightness, but if you tell me it looks good, awesome. Oh, I forgot to say the positive. So the negative is the school strike. I'm going to try to do ornaments with the kids this week. We have a little Santa Claus we want to do. I'm going to do that tomorrow. So I'm trying to see like the blessing in that. So I'm going to try to get them to do some arts. And also, my husband decided to work on my butler's pantry this weekend. So since he's going to be off almost 4 weeks, 3-4 weeks between Christmas and New Year's, he's decided that he's going to do a lot of renovations. So he was starting prepping, doing calculations and taking measurements. Like you can see, there's like a hole behind me here on the wall. On the ceiling. There's like little things that we need to fix. And he's like, why don't we just like get your Costco shelving out of the pantry and work something, like not finish it, because obviously it costs like so much money to have like a finished pantry of our dreams. But I have now a counter, and I tried to organize myself, but it's like everything, you put everything and then you're like, you're not certain. And so what I decided is I was going to put everything there and try to live with it a couple of weeks and then make adjustments as we go. So the rough was made. We need to either stain it or paint it. I still don't know which one he decided he wanted to go. I think it's staining. So we have to stain the wood. And there's still some cabinets that we need to build to add some space to store like canned goods or overstock. Because being a homesteader, it's not like 2 pounds of flour that you have. It's a 40-pound bag of flour. And I have a 40-pound bag of flour, regular, and I have a 40-pound, what's it, 40 or 50? I can't remember. And then of bread flour. And then I have 2 bags of 10 kilos of rice. And then I have dry beans. And then I have cooked beans. And then like it goes on and on and on and on. So you would think that a 5x6 pantry would be enough. But I quickly realized that it's going to be filled, and there is one full wall that we can't use up completely because there's a window. So I'm just going to organize it a little bit, and I did a video about my phase 1 of my butler's pantry. So once I somewhat feel that it's organized and like everything has a spot, I will make a part 2, and there definitely will be like multiple parts. So, Tracy, are you still here? I want to hear what happened with your finger. What'd you do this time? Oh, yeah. See, when your house is over 100 years old, you find, okay, so we bought this house in 2017. She bought the house, flipped the house, and then she couldn't sell the house for about 2 years. So she semi-flipped the house the second time to a quick sell. But this time she made the renovations herself. So when we moved in, it looks all fun, all cute and cuddly, and we were so excited. And then the gyps, especially the ceiling. So you're supposed to, okay, I'm not sure I'm going to explain this right. So you're supposed to put a tape and then do something else and then sand it, paint it, and all that. But like, ironically, every single thing that she's done, it's either cracking, the tape's coming off. So when we remove the tape, there's going to be fixing. And when she moved, instead of removing the screws, she pulled out the screws and the plugs. So there's a lot of touch-ups to be done. And like, we've always put the painting and the wall reparations on the back burner because we knew that we were going to do modifications before we found out there's like little adjustments to be done. So like we start this, we start that, and then we find this, and then we found a serious problem. Now we're dealing with the serious problem. But there's always the other side. We're doing it on our own schedule. And that also means that we have a budget. And every single time we try to upcycle, reuse, and like bring down the cost as much as we can. Obviously, if it's something that we need brand new 2x4s, straight screws, and like perfect angles and all of that, we're gonna go buy at the store, obviously. But like when we can do some stuff with things that we have already at the house, we try to do that to bring the cost down. So yes, his hands are very, very full. There is one project that I cannot wait. There's one that it's been bothering me since we moved here. So the color of the main floor is like this aggressive orange red. It was beautiful with the decor she had because all her decor was pale. So her sofa was white. Every pieces of decor around that those walls were all light. We have 3 kids, so obviously we choose to have darker. So everything's dark against like this very dark orange, aggressive red. It's just been bothering me for like 6 years. So I'm trying to convince Fred to patch the holes, sand it, and just prime it white. And like have that aggression removed. I don't know. Have you ever felt that? Like walk into a room where the paint like literally aggresses you on so many levels. Oh, what did you do? So Tracy, I was trimming a piece of tallow from behind a quarter of the deer and the knife. Ouch. Okay, so tell me. You didn't have to go to the hospital, did you? You're okay. Like I saw your bandage, but it's. Did you stop the bleeding? Did you need stitches? Hmm. Oof, okay. I'm happy. I'm happy. Because hands are like, they're, you can't live with, well, yes, you can if you have to, but like, I remember when I squished these two fingers in the door frame, um, I couldn't, like, I'm righty. So I squished those 2 fingers. Like, I couldn't hold my cup. Like, holding a cup like this was not possible. And holding a fork to eat, I couldn't eat. So I had to do everything with my left hand. So the first week, I burned myself on so many occasions with my coffee because, like, I just couldn't hold it properly. And then I ended up, like, I think a couple of mornings, like, when I was like super tired, drink out of a sippy cup of the kids or with a straw, and the fork I had to eat with my left hand. Ugh, well, I saw the band-aid and the tape. Well, I think he needed a major surgery and they replaced his fingers bleed a lot. Yes. Don't forget the thumbs up. Well, since I have 8 of you here, you remember, well, Tracy, I think this was the last time you were on a guest on one of my lives. There was a boo-boo that happened, and my channel was, I received a warning because we had a discussion of a topic that I got my finger slapped a little bit. And since that, I think my channel is experiencing like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, I don't see the same views. I don't see the same activities on my channel. So if you can do the thumbs up, the 8 of you, you're going to be telling YouTube that you enjoy me. And at one point, I think it's January 11th or January 21st, my official slap on the hand period is finished. So if you can do that, that would like really, really, really help me. Because I don't think YouTube is pushing out my content as much as he or she or the AI of YouTube used to do. That would help me a lot. You know, we've actually discussed so many different other subjects that we could have got like serious trouble. But, you know, you don't have to feel bad. Because we didn't say bad information. It's just I got flagged because we did talk about it. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. No worries. I have to look. I think it's January. Wait. Time's flying by so fast. So before I know it, it's going to be finished. So January 21st. So I still have like a little over a month. So if I can get 8 thumbs up tonight, if I have 8 viewers and 8 thumbs up, YouTube has has to love me tonight. Remy, I just saw you posted a video. My phone just told me. Woohoo! I don't see. I should do this. I don't open a second screen with my zucchini salsa. I should do that and open. Ooh, 9 thumbs up. Here's the 10th. Woohoo! Okay. So I can semi-watch myself and see if there's comments that I'm missing. Anybody had some celebration for Christmas? Parties? Anything going on with your families? I started doing my baking. I normally do this. I normally do a couple of recipes. So I don't know if you know this. There's like this meat pate we do here in Quebec. It's called creton. So it's pork, hamburger meat, pork that is like boiled in a concentrated chicken broth with onions, garlic, thyme, salt, pepper, and what's the other one? I'm missing something. And we boil it for a long time until all the meat is cooked and all the liquid is gone, and that's called creton. I did 3 pounds of that. I might do over the holidays when my husband's here. He loves tourtière, but he prefers the one with potatoes in it, not the traditional one for my family. And I normally do that like the week before Christmas. I know there's a couple of cookie recipes that I want to do. I think I'm going to wait to see if my kids are on strike Thursday. Actually, no, it's going to be too early. So I'm going to have to wait Some of the cookies that I do is like a week before Christmas. We have to do them. But I like, since I'm no longer hosting for Christmas, like I no longer bake a lot. Like I used to do a full turkey, some coleslaw. There was like so many things I needed to bake, but now since I'm no longer hosting, I just do it for us. Had Christmas meal for church today, the 17th. I have Christmas with my daughter. And Wendy's. Ooh, fun, fun, fun. Woohoo. Okay, so I have to shout this out. Members for 8 months. Woohoo. Member for 9 months. Woo-woo. Yeah. I can't believe it's been 9 months already since I've been celebrating that milestone of monetization in March of this year. 9 months. Time flies. I don't know why I thought of that. Who has received seed catalogs? I'm curious to see. I know it's the delay, so I'm going to wait to read your response. But who has received their seed catalogs? Which one did you get this year? So Remy got one. Well, I find that it did. You're right, it did. But there is, since I've changed many things, I feel that September, October, November, December went a little slower for me, since like I've been studying a lot, healing a lot. I find that the year is like slowing down. It's still going at fast paced. I can't believe that December, like when I was speaking to a friend of mine, Annie, and she was like, oh my God, it's December 1st. I'm like, what? December 1st? It's already here? Christmas is in 24 days. Oh my God. But I feel that time is like, even though I'm studying almost full time, I feel like time is slower. I don't know how I'm going to feel in the spring, but like I feel excited for the colder months. I know Remy's going to go like, ugh, colder months, I hate snow. But I kind of feel excited for the colder months because I really want to rest. Like I'm going to do this properly this year and really, really plan a different year for me. Like I have like a different vision. Like slowly my vision of 2024 is a little bit different for me, like from years past. So you didn't go through, I didn't open mine yet. Actually, no, wrong. I opened the one Johnny Seeds. Lucky you. We have to pay for our Baker Creek. I love Baker Creek. Like there's like already 3 tomatoes that I want and a squash. Yeah, definitely. My wife is having a Dutch meal with kale potatoes with sausage and bacon cooked. Oh. I'm not a fan of kale, but the way that you describe this meal, it sounds delicious. Yum, yum, yum. Well, here's the thing, and my mom said this to me last year. We can't have a green Christmas because you remember when we say that we don't have earthquakes, we don't have crocodiles, we don't have snakes or spiders that can kill us. Think of it this way. If it does not freeze during the winter here, we're going to have critters that's going to come north. And then the population of these critters will be like they will they will procreate like on a scale that's like unimaginable, and they won't have our ecosystem won't be able to handle it, and there's going to be no predator to kind of like regulate everything. Okay, so it can freeze. How can it freeze without the snow? Well, in New York, it's like that. It's cold, but there's no snow. Cool. I'm trying to get myself organized. I'm almost there. My husband cleared one area in his office. My future grow room is going to be there. And I want to have like a four thing going on. Like, I'm going to do this like with scheduled lights coming on at a certain time. I think I'm going to do it during the night. I can't remember who suggested this to me. She puts her light, I think it's Annie. She puts her light from, I think, 10 at night. No, from 8 at night till 8 in the morning. So the reasoning behind that, I kind of find that very interesting. She does that because it's in her basement. In her basement, it's not heated as much, and the lights kind of like throw out some heat. And during the day, the temperature is like normal. So I think if I'm gonna have lights in my husband's office and like we're around, there's no door on his office just yet. So I think by doing 8 o'clock at night till 8 o'clock in the morning, I don't think it's gonna bother us that much. So lettuce, cilantro, basil, I think spinach, baby spinach. That's something I really would like to do. So like maybe one herb, mixed herb like dill. No, dill gets pretty tall. So maybe cilantro, basil, leaf basil, or mammoth basil, and then like a couple of different types of greens, and like have some fresh lettuce inside the house. But we did find a company that delivers. I don't think I mentioned this. So Lufa Farms is in Montreal, which is about an hour and 15 minutes from my house, has a service that you can get a bin delivered at your house once a week. And there was a special going on. You had one free basket worth, I think it was $50. All you had to do was pay $6, and they're going to ship it to your house, and you get to experience. Like, we had one loaf of bread, one chocolate bar, we had lettuce, cucumbers, we had potatoes. There was like mix and match of everything, and we kind of had a good experience. Like, and $6 shipped in front of your house. It's mostly locally grown in Quebec. Most of it is either like no pesticides. It's not organic, but it's like nature friendly, or certified organic. There's weekly deals. Last week I got good organic grass-fed beef. It was like beyond delicious. There's like charcuterie and all of that. So we get that delivered at our house, but we get like 2 heads of lettuce delivered every week. I take the ones that are on special, either $1.55 each or $2. Past that, I refuse to do it. But if I was able to grow leaf lettuce here, either in soil or the way that they deliver ours, I think us is hydroponic. So that would be something that I saw. There was a tower. I think it was like 10 little holes, and it would be fun to try to see if I can have like a rolling inventory of lettuce going on. But like, I don't know what we need, if it's dangerous to have inside the house. Is there's like any requirement? Does it do moisture? Does it cause problems? So I'm going to look into that to see, to have like this mini hydroponic thing going on, or I'm just going to do soil for this year and then look, because I don't know how much space I'm going to have in my husband's office. He still has his office there, his storage for all his like mini tools and stuff like that, the printers for my school, and I hope I can have at least one shelving up, but I would love to have some greens. No seed catalog here. Don't have room to grow that much. However, I will have an abundance of loofah seeds. Nice! I did harvest 12 loofahs. 3 rotted. I was super bummed. And one's dried. And I don't think I can save the seeds because I had some squash close by. Minus 40 won't snow. It's true. It usually snows like between -1 and -20. But with windshield, I don't know if you guys have that, but here it could be like -19 snowing, and then with the windshield like being minus like 30. I haven't seen Lynn's system. I haven't been on the social media that much. I know that usually I'm on the chat and like I give news here and there, but I haven't caught up with a lot of you guys. So that's why when I see you guys in the lives, I kind of pick your brains to see like what's going on. I will have bee sprouts for Xmas, for Christmas. Bee sprouts. Are you saying beets? Nice. I just want to shoot like bee sprouts. I was hoping to see Marilyn tonight because I wanted to tell her that this year is the year I'm going to try my little mini soil blockers. Like I was, as I was doing the cleanup of my pantry and there's my bathroom, if you can call it a bathroom. So we have like this temporary bathroom right now, and we had a shelving unit. Oh, nice. Brussels sprouts. So we had like this shelving unit. Everything I didn't know what to put. We don't have a basement. So anything or everything that just didn't fit anywhere since we started renovation was on that unit. And right now it's right behind me, right there. Because I no longer want it in the bathroom. Because the kids were adding clothes to it. And anyways, so where was I going with that? I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. And then I was playing with my seed supplies and my seeds. I ordered some seeds from M.I. Gardner. There was a sale just, I think, after Thanksgiving. I think it was 20% off or something like that. And I did get the seeds that you were talking to me about. Remy, giant something. Giant. What's the name? Yeah, giant crimson. And I'm supposed to receive it, I think, this week. So I started planning my garden of next year. And I took out my little cubes, my little mini soil blockers. And as the cold was coming in, I was organizing my pots and everything. And I sort of want to convert to those little mini soil blockers and the 2-inch and all that. Because like every year at the end of the season, I have so much all over the place. And it would be so fun just to have my trays and my soil blockers. So I don't know. Maybe this year is going to be the year that I do it. But we shall see. So last week she wasn't there either, I think. I only harvested 5 loofahs from 3 plants. They are still drying out in the greenhouse. I did verify with the one that They do have seeds, so I'm impatient. Nice. So this year, I got 3 out of 5 plants to survive. And I just planted them last minute. I had a spot for them, and then something came up. Didn't work out. And then I'm like, I'm just going to use the structure of the high tunnel for it to spread out. And they started booming out end of July, and I was like, I'm not going to have anything out of that. It was like mainly foliage, and loads of flowers. There was a boatload of flowers all over the place, and within, I think, a week or two, I told my husband, we cannot put a plastic anymore. Like, I was waiting for him to put the plastic. And like, I told him, like, you need to put the plastic so I can plant my loofahs. And then at one point, I'm like, I can't wait for you to put the plastic because my loofah are starting to like pop out. So we decided not to put the plastic on the tunnel. And then the loofahs literally took over like the back end of the tunnel. It was beautiful. So if ever one day I have a harbor, I think I'll just like grow loofahs just for the beauty of it. The foliage is beautiful. The flowers are yellow and they just take over. It was beautiful. And thank God we had a late frost this year, because if we didn't, I don't think I would have that much. But I did have to start them like super early. I think I started them like in March, my loofahs, but I'm so happy. I do hope my goal this year, so I had 11 or 12. 3 rotted and 1's dry right now. The others are not drying that much, but like I don't have a wood burning stove. They're right now on the top of that shelf. Like I make sure that they can dry out. And I'm hoping to at least have 2 so I can try it out. And there is a course that I started. I won't finish it this year, that's for sure. I thought it was like a couple of hours, like tops 10 hours to learn how to make soaps, homemade, handmade soaps. Turns out it's like a full-on learning how to do from A to Z your soaps, and there's a lot of knowledge in it. And I think I'm like in 30% in, and there's one soap, I think it's cucumbers and loofah. So there is a loofah gourd with a cucumber recipe, and I'm like, that sounds interesting. So if my loofah survives and I am able to dehydrate it properly, I'm definitely going to be trying one of those recipes, but I'm like not there yet. It's probably going to be like in January that it's going to dry out, because mine is like big. It's like super, super big. But if I don't get to drying this year, it's going to be a process just like my onions. So it took me, I think, 6 years to grow loofah. So what is one more year to get the actual loofah, not just the gourd? I know Lynn was really looking forward to get some loofahs this year. It didn't work out. So if all of mine work out for me, so let's just say 8. Let's just say that I have like 5 or 7. Like I'm not going to use all of that, so I'm going to end up having to share. So if they're still good, I'm going to bring you guys loofah at the convention in May. Can't believe when the first time the convention was talked about 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I think it was 3 years ago. We learned beginning of December that there was going to be a homesteading conference in Ontario, Eastern Ontario. And we started talking about it in December. We were so excited all the way till like March. Then we started seeds, and then it was like a long 5 months for that long weekend that passes by so fast. But soon enough, it will be May. So back to seed catalog. So this year, I'm on a mailing list. So I normally receive Vizzy. That's a Canadian one. I receive my Johnny seeds. Actually, I put everything aside. I'm going to show it to you guys. I'll be right back. They're like right next to me. Those flower pull the pollinator in like crazy. I was always finding. Yeah. So I had a lot of pollinator activity because of it in my tunnel, probably. So what did I receive this year? I think, oh, that's not seeds. That's Costco. So I think there's like one or two usually I receive. So my first one I received was Vizzy. This is a Canadian company. Johnny Seeds. I know this is an American one, but I love squash. Like I think Remy and I understand each other. I love squash. I just can't get my family to love squash like I do, so I have to hide it. So when I saw this one, there is like a couple of squash I want already. So, and I received West Coast seed. So the only one I opened was Johnny Seed, and I did started to go on some of the websites. So MI Gardener does not have one of these. So I normally always check at least once or twice during the colder months what's new, what's coming, what new varieties are coming, because it really has grown within the last 7 years. I remember when I started in 2016 ordering seeds from him, he had like 50 basic seed packages and the envelopes were like super basic. His website was basic, and look at him now. Like, I cannot believe how much he's grown since I started following him probably 7 years ago. Just an FYI, if you guys didn't know, I have a link for West Coast seeds. So I did add it to all of my videos. I don't think I add it in my lives. But if you want to order seeds, and it is from West Coast Seeds, I am an affiliate with them. And if you need the link, just message me or email me. Or he reminded me last time he placed an order at West Coast Seed that my link needed to be updated. So I really need to do that. It's nice to get out of the house. It was nice to get out of the house the first year. Did I miss anything? Yes, in squash we trust. Yes, it is very expensive. He's very small. But he doesn't believe in a catalog. And I understand, like, he's a small seed company. But he's getting there. Like, he makes seeds affordable. Like, I think they're $2 American. It's $2 and something cents per package. The seed count for a small garden is perfect. Some seeds I can no longer order from him because like 25 seeds of like beans for a small space garden is perfect. It's going to give you probably a row of 12 feet, which is probably enough for the summer's worth of beans. And you can order maybe 2 package and have 2 rows of 12 feet, which is fine. Like, you will have a lot of beans with that. But I get, just for a little bit more expensive than that, I have like 500 seeds. So it is a bummer. When he has his 50% off sale, sometimes I go there. So if I can get the amount of seeds I need for 2 for 1, I go with him. But like, I try to encourage a little bit of all of them because they're like family oriented business, and some of them I find myself going back to West Coast Seeds a lot. They have beautiful varieties every year, and they do have some hybrids that I have come to enjoy, but sadly, I don't think I'll be growing the hybrids I've purchased, or maybe in the fall. So most of the cabbage family is hybrid for me because of all the pest issues that I have, and I don't want to spray. So I don't think I'll have cabbages next year. Or if I do, I think my plan, I have like 10 cauliflower, 10 broccoli, and 10 cabbages. And I think I have like 4 Asian for my spring garden. If that doesn't work, well, then I'm just going to let go of spring gardening for at least cabbage family. I know I'm going to do beets. I love canning my beets this year. It was so fun. Out of 2 rows, I have so many canned beets. It's like incredible. And one of them I think is hybrid and it comes from West Coast Seed. They have like so many interesting things that I couldn't find anywhere. But one that makes me dream is Baker Creek. If one day I have the privilege to visit the farms of Baker Creek, I think I'm going to be like this little young child in a candy store. I probably will be like on a field trip and go like, oh, look at that, look at that, look at that. And like could like taste every single tomatoes that is in their tunnels. And I think my face would hurt from smiling so much if I was one day able to visit Baker Creek in the United States. It would be amazing. Yeah, $2 is definitely reasonable. So for us to have free shipping, Canada, I think it's $20 American for us to have free shipping. For you guys, for USA, I think it's free shipping with, no, it's, I think all over is free shipping with 10 package of seeds. So obviously, because it was a 20%, I did have to spend a little bit more. So I have, what do I have coming in? So I have lavender. I'm trying a new variety of lavender. 3 varieties of tomatoes. Onions, shallots, sunflowers, peppers, eggplant. So I'm going to be opening that with you guys. Ooh! Splash! So for my members, there's an emoticon splash for you guys. Kimi, I just saw you message me. Should I wait after the live to listen to it, or it can wait? Greenback. I don't know that one, Greenback. I know that Eco Seed Bank has a sale right now. I think it's 40 or 50% off. I saw another sale. Who has another sale? Was it Rainbow Seeds? No, it's not rainbow seeds. I saw another one that had a sale. I forgot. Anyways, so I know Eco Seed Bank is having, I think it was 50% off, but I've never, what's to buy a greenback? I don't know. Perfect. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to figure out what a greenback is. So we pay 40% to buy. Oh, right. Okay. Well, I try to order and encourage Canadians, seed places, but sometimes there's like varieties that I cannot find. So, like, if for example, honey nut, butternut squash. So it's a butternut that's called honey nut is not available. Well, now I think it's available at a Canadian one, but before I was not able to buy it anywhere else. So I had to buy it. I think it was at Baker Creek or something like that. So I find myself like the rarest thing I would buy online on American sites. But now our local sites also are trying to branch out a little bit into like the heirlooms and what I call like a potager style, not like market oriented, different types of like flowers. A lot of them are going into ornaments, ornamental flowers, and but they don't have like the infrastructure like of Baker Creek where they have like so many farms working with them and all of that. So I know it's different for them, but it's fun to see the locals to have those beautiful ones. Like I'm trying to find. See, even this one, West Coast Seeds, they don't have the butternut that I want. It's like a bulkier, smaller. So as an affiliate with West Coast Seeds, I don't buy all of it there because there's like certain varieties that I want somewhere else. White sweet onions, I'm terrible at growing. Yeah, I remember you told me that. So this year, I followed the course from l'Académie Potagère. I paid for that. It was an online course. I followed it and I like literally did everything they told me except planting them at 12 inches apart. So they told me there was a soil mixture specific to onions that I needed to do to start my seeds. I had them in 72 plug trays, so an inch and a half by an inch and a half, and you would plant four seeds, cut the fourth one to remain at three seedlings. There was a fertilizing calendar I needed to follow, and every bunch of onions in on April 30th, I planted them outside. I did not follow the 12 inches apart. I think I sowed mine at 8 inches or like 9 inches, and the only thing I've done wrong is I didn't weed enough. So I had just under the size of medium size onions. So they were pretty small, but they did pretty good. So next year, and I on a 30-inch wide row, I planted 3 rows, I think. And I added chamomile. So I had chamomile popping up from years prior. I didn't know what to do with it, and I read somewhere that if you add chamomile with your onions, you're going to repel some of the little fly that bores inside the onions, which it did help because most of my onions are not rotting right now. So last year, I had a lot of little flies, larvae, inside of my bulbs. And when I think it was like by the end of December, beginning of January, most of my onions were like mushy and all of that. Now, my Walla Walla onions and my sweet onions, they don't preserve very well. They're starting to germinate, so I need to pass them. But none of them are dying or like getting mush on me. So it's a process. Next year, I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I don't know if I'm going to space them out a 10-inch instead of like 8, 10. But I'm going to try to have a more organized, weed-free for my onions. And I need to go over the fertilizing schedule for outside. I don't think I fertilized them enough. And I think there's like one thing I forgot to do. But it is a learning curve. Bunching onion for me, I have a hard time harvesting them. So they do pretty well. They get big. But there's like a window where that little larva comes and just like bores all of them. And so what I do is I just cut them. I don't remove the bulb. I just cut them at soil level. And I have like a bumper crop in the fall. And that's when I harvest my green onions, or very early before the little flies comes out. I probably will have some bunching onions that will sell seeds next year because I left everything in my garden. So I had some eggplants, I had some peppers, tomatoes, bunching onions. Chamomile were popping back up. I just left everything there. So I might have a lot of volunteers next year, including a lot of weeds because I didn't put my garden to bed. I didn't do anything. So usually you're supposed to weed your garden, put some compost or silage tarp. I didn't do anything. I just let it all go, and it's going to be a problem for another day. But I'm not stopping onions. I love to have homegrown garlic and homegrown onions. There's something about it. It just feels amazing. Yeah, there's times when I order bulk items on Johnny Seeds, Verze Seeds. I don't have taxes. But I don't know what is considered bulk here. Because when you go to Costco and you buy in bulk, sometimes if you buy the small quantity at a grocery store, you would pay taxes. And then when I go at Costco, I rarely pay taxes because it's in bulk, and I really enjoy that. Although there's a lot of stuff that I buy that are like tax-free because it's fruit and vegetables. But there's certain things that I prefer saving the tax. We are taxed a lot here. A lot. When I say to Americans how much we pay taxes here, it blows their mind. Savings is something I really want to do. But I'm never good. So I save the seeds, I dry the plant, and I collect the seeds, and then they never or barely reached my collection. My peas, it's like easy. My beans is easy. But there's certain like tomatoes I sometimes can, but I have a hard time like getting there, finishing it, and putting it in my seed collection. They do last very long in ideal conditions. I do have some seeds from 2017 that's still okay. So the the germination level goes down. So instead of being like 90%, it goes down to like maybe 60%. So let's just say like this year, I cleaned out most of my cucumber seeds. So everything that was 2017, 18, 19, instead of putting 2 seeds, I put 3 to be sure that I had a good germination because they're older seeds. But they're not because they're like 10 years old. That means you need to throw them out. You just need to sow a little bit more. Onions, leeks is a bit different. Bunching onions, like always, this is something that every year I go like, it bothers me. They always, in my training, they told me you need to sow this current year seeds for proper germination. I just can't do that. So instead, I try to only have like last year max, not 5 years, because germinations will be terrible. Okay. Thanks. I will have to remember that. You're lucky. So here, the onion family, so allium, I think it's called allium in English. So onions, green onions, leeks, and garlic. There's this critter that lays an egg inside. It's a little bit like the vine borer. I think you have the vine borer as well. It's smaller, so it bores, and that little worm like wiggles itself inside, and I'm not sure what it does. I know that the vine borer, the moth lays the egg on the side of the vine, and then the little thingy, when it hatches out, bores inside of the squash and it feeds on it. I still don't know why they exist. I haven't figured out why on earth this type of moth exists. Like I like every year I go, every time I see it, I'm like, they must have a reason why they're on this planet, because they wouldn't be there if they they didn't have a plan for it. But those two moths like drives me insane. I actually brought this fly with a load of compost. So my town was giving out compost one year. So the years prior to that year, I never had that fly problem. I never had anything bore inside of my onions. And the year, they're called leaf miners. No, leaf miners is for beets and no, it's another. Anyways, so they that year I had an explosion of leaf miners and an explosion of that one. And the year before, in my compost, I got delivered, I think 7. I think it was like a 2 dump truckload of it. There was like these weird white eggs in it, and I just crushed them. And I didn't know. So the first year, I had an explosion of vine borers, and the second year, I went for free compost. Worst thing. So if you put if you have chickens and you have leaves that are attacked by leaf miners, vine borers, you can give them to your chickens. But if you put them in your compost pile has to come hot enough to remove those little eggs. So what I do when I have some leaf miners, some vine borer damage or anything, every plant that I know that has either a disease or a egg on it, I burn it. But everyone that has a compost bin puts their either their food, their waste that's compostable, and sometimes they put their leaves that has eggs or whatever, and they just create compost with it. And I got a boatload of those eggs in that compost that year. It was horrible. My beets, the poor little thing, I had to shave them. Like leave like one little mini leaf and like just chop everything off. Same thing with my Swiss chard. Same thing with, I can't remember, a spinach. My spinach, I can no longer grow it because one day they're like super beautiful and then the next day leaf miners are all over it. So if I want spinach, I'm probably gonna have to grow them inside. Issues with worms or bugs touching my bunching onions. I have 5 different pots. I have learned that if you space out your green onions, bunching onions, they will get mass. So this year, I think my course told me to plant 10 seeds to keep 8 and to space them 16, 10 inches apart. I can't remember. I would have to look at my notes. They were incredible this year. I had beautiful green onions. Hello, Karen. Yeah, leaf miners are in spinach. They are ruthless and they massacre. I put wood ash on the squash roots to get rid of the borers. Did it work? This year I did not do the cucumber beetle. I did not go to war with it. Vine borers either. So I went a different route. I had the option of buying material, row covers. I couldn't buy them this year. So what I did is I started some seeds inside in 4-inch pots. And then when I transplanted it, I sowed 2 old seeds of the same variety at the same time. I did that with my melons, with my summer squash, and my winter squash, and my cucumbers. So they would attack the old plant, and then the new plant would come out, and at least one of them out of the 3 would survive. And then I staggered. So I think I sowed cucumbers 4 times. Yeah, I think I sowed 3-4 times cucumbers during the season. I even sowed some like super late, and I was able to harvest at least 2-3 cucumbers per plant, which was super fun. And I was able to harvest 10 squash this year, which is like a record for me. I know when I told that to Remy, he was like, you only harvested 10 squash, but it was either that and I would have to manually inspect every single plant and like remove the eggs, and it's 2 times consuming. So if I can, I wanted to do that this year, but it just couldn't happen. But the way that we design the tunnel this year, I might be able to do something. So I think I'm going to order some screen, to replace your screens in your windows. Like it's a material that bugs cannot come in. So I think I'm going to do a screen window in the back, a screen door in the front, and on the sides, I think I'm going to order. I ordered one, but I would need a second one. So it's a 20 feet long panel of it's a bug netting, and the only thing that can come in are honeybees and little bees. Some of the cucumber beetles will probably be able to come in, but the vine borers will not. So I'm thinking if I can convert my tunnel into a safer environment for my melons, my summer squash, and my winter squash, I would be able to convert my tunnel into like a squash environment, cucumber, melon, and give the tunnel soil a little rest. Because usually I would always put tomatoes, peppers. It's been a couple of years, so I think like I need to a little bit rotate the crop. So I think by going this way, it will help my soil a little bit. And my rabbits right now are in my tunnel. So the front door is always open. Well, not open for the rabbits that come out, but I mean the air comes in from the front, the air comes in from the back, but they have the entire tunnel covered and they are comfortable. So the poop of my rabbit are falling on the floor, and all I have to do is just we just need to add 2 more pieces like a V so that it goes in a bucket, and then I will just have a very nicely rich, loose soil in the spring. It's going to be super fun. And it's going to be almost free. So we were supposed to sell my 2 males rabbits or eat them. But I decided to keep my 2 males so that they can provide me compost, well, poop. And in the spring, I'm going to sell the 2 males as adults. They're going to be a little under a year, so they're going to be ready for mating. And sadly, I need to replace my male, my reproduced, my female is perfect. She's a wonderful mother. She takes care of her kids. I tried to breed her 3 times with my male. I think he's too old because she never taken. Like, I can understand that she rejected it the first time. Okay, rejected him a second time. And I breeded her a 3rd time, and I left her for a full month with the male. And she still wasn't pregnant. So I think he's old. We've had him for like 5-6 years. And I don't think he's good anymore. Well, for that at least. So now he's a pet. So in the spring, I'm going to try to find a male, maybe like do an exchange, a male and a female, not related, to have like 2 breeding pairs. I would have loved to have 3 pregnancies for her this year so that she can have like a good amount of babies, because her first pregnancy was 4 babies, the second one was 10. So it was great. It was perfect. 8-10 is a perfect number. But like, if I breed her again in the spring, will she have 8 at least? So I know that in the spring I have to purchase at least 1 male, because her babies are big. They're huge. Has a recovery but yields down. Awesome. Okay. So if I can convince my husband not to burn his scraps in my fire pit next year, I'll use my wood ash. Well, it's almost free. It's not free. Like everyone says, oh my God, you can have free compost. No, I don't. So I have to pay for the feed and for the water. I pay per gallon here where we live. No, sorry, we don't pay per gallon. Correction. We have a certain amount of gallon per household. If we surpass that, we have to pay a fee, which we do every year. But since it's coal manure, I don't need to compost it. So what I'll do in the spring, I'll just mix it in with some hay in my garden beds, and I just won't sow root vegetables. There is 1 full row that is not in contact with the rabbit manure right now. I can just like use that one and just like buy 3-4 bags of regular compost. And if I want to put some radishes there, but right now that full row is babysitting my pots that has like my herbs, my mints and my rose tree and all of that. So it's not free, but it will be cheaper for me this way. It will be a little migraine because like instead of having 2 cages of rabbits, I will now have 3. So that means instead of having 2 waters to change 2-3 times a day, I will have 3 waters. But there is a positive side. Once we close the back end, we're going to close the back end window 3/4 of the way, and we're going to close up the front door 3/4 of the way to have a good airflow. And for them to be exposed to the cold. They don't like the heat, so I want to keep them comfortable. I don't think the water's going to freeze that much during the day, because I think it's going to reach maybe like 0 at all times in the tunnels. So in the water situation during the day, once I've poured the water, I'm hoping with this logic that instead of going 3-4 times during the day, empty out their ice buckets and like refilling with fresh water. I do hope that since they're in the tunnel, I kind of resolve that issue. It's going to be I'm going to find out in the spring. Oh, wait. Where's that message? So, stop everything you're doing and go check out Rem's channel, Rem's Family Farm. If you're not a subscriber, go show him some love, because 6K would be nice. You could. There's 10 people here. At least 5 of them are subs, I'm sure. So we could maybe get you there. 24 away. It would be nice. A free t-shirt giveaway. Maybe later. Yeah, definitely. So I took advantage of Boxing Day. So in case my kids are up. So all of my gifts were ordered the first week of December. So I was able to save. Some of the games and some of the gifts are they were 30% off, 40% off. Some of the jewelry my daughter wanted also was 25% off. So I was able to not have too much stress over the gifts this year. My heart goes out to all the families right now. So I don't know if you guys have that where you are. So my town, associated with a couple of towns, there was people passing in door to door and collecting either some money or some canned food. And I gave this year because I received a Christmas basket with food. At least for 4 years. So every year I would receive some huge boxes of canned food, beans, pasta, sauce, sugar, flour, and all of that. And I remember canned soup, a lot of canned soup, canned potatoes, canned mushrooms, canned carrots, some toilet paper, Scott towels, soaps. They would make they knew that we had 3 children. Sometimes they would include Christmas gifts, simple ones, but I was grateful. I was really grateful. It was hard. When they knock on your door and they bring you that box, it's really hard because you know that you're so low. But this year I was able to donate something, and my heart goes out to everyone right now. So many people are should I pay for food or do I pay bills? So, yep, we had that there as well. Yeah, so I think I gave about $10-15 worth of food. And I know I know it's not a lot, but I used to work where I used to live every year. I used to work for the Christmas basket. So I would go door to door. I think I was 6 years old. I was on a team every year. I would go from door to door, pick up the money, pick up the food, build the boxes, and then fill the boxes. And as I was getting older, I had more and more responsibilities. And at the end, before I was pregnant with Emilia, I used to have a team. I was the leader. I had 5 people with me every single year. The same 5 people would come. I was responsible for them. I had a route. We would go to door, and I was actually delivering the baskets at the end. And it's hard. It's hard to deliver those baskets because you see the struggle, and you see the happiness, and you see so many smiles. And when I was able to give some of the gifts that were wrapped to the parents, because some of them were not able to do gifts, we tell them to hide them. It was for Christmas morning. And then I was a young adult. And then as an adult, when I needed the baskets, it was such a blessing. So I was so happy to be able to give this year. I knew Remy before he was famous YouTube star. But I need to be over 100K to be considered. No, we're all stars. We're all superstars in our hearts. Well, I feel my age right now, especially after. Ooh, good night, good night, good night. Well, I have to go do a treatment for my husband. He's suffering. He's asked for a treatment today, so I will be able to practice. So if he hasn't fallen asleep, I think I'm going to be doing that. So take care of him, me. I know you're back at work tomorrow. It's Monday. For us, it's a fake Monday. No regular routine. But still, so before I let you guys go, December is a month that every year makes me step back and like count my blessings and to see how important it is to give to the next person. There's years that I wasn't able to give anything. I was able to give my time because it was the only thing I could afford. There's years that I am more fortunate. So with my time, I am able to give something. So if you can help, if it's financially or with your time, there are so many people in needs right now. It is beyond crazy. I know I have been very blessed. Like I feel this year is different. We are struggling on so many levels. School, health wise, our health departments here is like crazy all over the place. But I try to count my blessings and to give. So like I said in my video of this week, for me, Christmas is not the gifts under the tree. It's the gifts that are not. You can't touch them. You can't see them. It's the gifts of like that your heart feels, like healing, love, joy, food, and all of that. So if you can like make someone smile, it's going to be a good December and a good Christmas. Well, it depends. If I make him suffer, he might not be like his legs hurt. So I know I'm not you, Tracy. I can't preach like you do. But I don't have your experience. But December for me always hits home. Every year, if I can help someone in need, I always do. Like over the weekend, I babysat a 18-month-old baby. Well, almost 2. He's going to be 2 soon. And like, I'm out of practice. My little one is like going to be 7 soon. And it's the second time I babysit him. And like diaper is in like different things. And it's easy to get back in the groove. But I was helping out friends that they were able to have their job was paying them for Christmas. I don't know how you call it in English. It was like your job pays for a Christmas dinner. All you had to do was go. You don't have to pay for anything. So she's like, I have a little 18-month-old. I can't bring him. It's like for adults, there's going to be drinks and all. And she's like, can you babysit? So I'm like, why not? So that you can have like a date night and enjoy. So they were able to have a date night. The little one went to bed. No fuss, no problems. And it was fun. So I helped out a neighbor that needed help. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So almost. I like the almost. I probably will never forget. But there's certain things like I nursed. So I'm not really used to bottles and pacifiers. Like my kids hated pacifiers. Like I tried to give them, and they were like, they didn't know what to do with it because they were used to be breastfed. And my 2 boys were breastfed for almost 2 years. And Emilia was, I pulled my milk and I gave it to her in a bottle. So for her, the pacifier, she somewhat knew what to do with it. But my sons, they didn't want sis. So the mute button didn't exist for my boys. But this little baby is bottle fed. So all I had to do was entertain him, give him the pacifier when he wanted it, give him like food. He was super easy. The dogs like were super chill with him. So it was fun. It was fun. But with a bike, the fun starts when you get on, babies. There's complications during the ride, depending the age they are. So sometimes there's like change of diapers. Sometimes there's like the siblings are bothering the other. Are we there yet? I'm starving. I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. I have to go to the bathroom. And then you go to the bathroom, and then 2 minutes later they have to drink, and then 5 minutes later they have to pee again. Yeah, it's almost like riding a bike. So guys, I thank you for chatting with me. If you haven't done the thumbs up, please take 1 second to do the thumbs up for me. My channel is like experiencing like little sadness. So if you can do all those thumbs ups, maybe so that YouTube can push me a little further so that it can get back to normal. Until next week, I hope you have a blessed week. Think of me this week. Pray if you can that the strike will actually get resolved so that my kids can actually go back in school. My daughter is so sad. Like she loves certain classes that she has, and to go see her friends and have fun and be girly girly. So if that could be resolved, it would be great. Until then, I'll chat with you next Sunday. Take care, everyone. Bye.